that night, my friend Rach was laying in the bed, right? And I heard something moving on her bed. And I thought, okay, whatever, she's just moving around. So I just looked at the bed, and she wasn't moving, but I could still hear whatever it was walking around her. The weird thing is I didn't say anything to her. And the next morning I got up, took a shower, after a couple hours of sleep. And she was doing her little morning rituals or whatever she's doing. And she literally was like, she was like, I come back out and I was like, I heard something on your bed. She's like, the weird thing is I thought, I heard it on my bed, but I wasn't on my bed. She had got up, but she heard something walking on the bed too. So we assumed it was a cat, right? We're like, oh man, this cat done crawled in the bed with her. Well, when we met up with other groups, they were like, man, that's not the story they gave us. They were like, they said that there's a kid that will crawl in bed with you. And then that's what freaked us out, because then in the long run of everything that happened, Rachel had made like little comments that was out of character. She normally wasn't there because we were locked in for 2 days. This is back when they used to lock you in for 2 days. And when she came home, something came home with her, and it would come from her kids' rooms, shut the door, go to the bathroom. I mean, her husband, even who's not a believer, started believing and saying, look, we got to talk about this, because I hear them coming from the kids' room, going to the bathroom and stuff like that. And there was nobody there. So in all characteristics, even our Ovilus that we take around, the crazy thing is it always says mommy, mommy. So I've often thought, does there come attachments? And was it really a cat, or was it the kid? And were they just trying to do like some little experiment? Because I believe they did there. Because they would tell us other things, and they would leave parts out. And then when we had to come to them, they would be like, oh yeah, well, let me tell you the rest of the story. So to me was that really a cat on the bed, or was that a kid crawling in bed with our friend? So that's something to think about.
Another thing is, we were in a room, and it was just us, and there's no wind blowing or anything. And all of a sudden, there was a smell of like a dog. It was a nasty smell of a dog that came around the room, and then it was just gone. Yeah,
it was really nasty. Well, it was like a malignant dog. I mean, it was like one that was like dying dog. It was decay, and it was really bad. And you could just smell it walk around the room. That is a different location. We should have an episode just on Old South, and that's what we might do next week, because we really want to share with people what happened there. It's been years from us, but it was so detrimental to our group that we had to take 6 months damn off. But that's not on this show. We just wanted to tell you about that incident that we thought was maybe a cat, but we don't know now that we've checked up with other groups, because they believe that was a kid that crawled in bed with you. Another cool thing that happened to us on an investigation is Hillview Manor. That happened not too long ago. Actually, we went to Hillview like 2 or 3 months ago. That's it. I know, it seemed like a year ago or whatever, right? We were in Pennsylvania, yeah. Like,
I've been working my ass off.
I know, it's like
I feel like it was a long time ago.
No, it was literally in September, October, November. Yeah, yeah. Because we went to Scarefest, and then not the next weekend, but the weekend after that, we went to Hillview. And then we started our Halloween thing. So, yeah. But the cool thing with Hillview, let me tell you, we went into this room, and supposedly there's a lady in there. They got all kinds of beads and stuff hanging up. She loved jewelry and things like that. When I went in the room, the first thing I thought was, there's got to be a cat here. Because I felt something against the bottom of my shin. And a lot of people do when there's a cat. They'll feel something purring up against them and stuff. And I was just like, it just read to me cat. Well, Ashley picks up a book that said something about reading to a cat or something like that. Automatic. I never seen that book or nothing like that. So we go to the little guides there, these two little ladies, and we say, okay, tell us, do you have a cat in this room, or has there been a cat or whatever? And they're like, no, other than that book, which I never seen, which was kind of weird. Ashley ended up sitting down and reading that book to try to get her to, maybe correspond with us or something like that on our EVPs. Well, the weird thing is the girl's like, oh man, I forgot to tell you. And she was looking at the other guide. She was like, the last time I took a tour through here and things like that, there was investigators there. And one of the girls could have swore that they saw a cat run underneath the bed. I thought that was pretty cool. And I forgot about that until I was researching some of this. So that's the second instance. And also then we, home for the holidays, which I told you about, which was like the horse. But the one that actually got us to believing, or got me to believing, was the Avenel thing. And I mentioned that numerous times, but they were doing remodeling I had no idea about no damn animals, by the way. I'm not an animal freak. I don't know if anybody's picked that up so far, but I'm not. I'm not big into animals. We've just lived around them all of our life because we're on a farm. And so we're just like, oh, okay, animals are here, but I just, I can live with them or not. It's not a biggie to me. So I'm like standing there, I'm getting my equipment together and stuff like that. And I look over at this kitchen that they're remodeling, and there's this cat, dark cat, rubbing on the door jamb. I'm like, okay, I look back. It was so natural that I just looked back and I was like fixing my equipment. And then I was like, holy shit, there ain't supposed to be a cat in here. And I looked back and it was gone. Well, them dumbasses, there was no sounds, no meowing, no rubbing, no hearing. I could see it, but I could not hear it. And I'd never heard of anybody, a cat or any shit like that. So I said, I was like, oh my God, y'all see that cat, blah, blah, blah. So they, of course, made fun of me all night. And they made fun of me for a while. And every time we went to investigate there, until we went to a Paracon there. And they have it. Well, we did it this last October. It was the Paranormal Nights. We were like, okay. I started talking to this guy. And they're like, we got EVPs of a cat meowing here. And there's been numerous accounts, of a cat all over that place. Never knew anything about it. So that was kind of cool. So we know that there's animals, people. I mean, we sure as hell know that. So it's kind of neat. Cats seem to be the most frequent, and I don't know why. Why do you think that is, Ashley?
They're stubborn.
That is true. And they have personalities that are very, very strong, I think.
You would think dogs would be, too.
They are. I'm going to get ready to tell you about... I'm getting ready to tell you about some of the things that actually have happened.
Well, you think about it. If it's a domesticated cat or dog, then they are required to stay with that family. So if the families are ghosts there, then why wouldn't the animals be ghosts there? Because they're required to stay. But if they are not a domesticated animal, then they are used to roaming and foraging and not really having a normal place of home. They're kind of like nomads. Would it be nomads?
Nomads, yeah.
Nomads. So they kind of wander around. So why would they hunt anywhere? They would be okay with going into the other life because they're always wandering anyways. So it would make sense to be why the residential animals would be ghosts.
So you're seriously... Now, what you're saying is we don't see a lot of animals in the forest because they are just okay with going on to the next life.
Yeah, because they're kind of like nomads. But there has been instances of, spiritual things like that.
Yeah.
Animals out in the woods. That
Bears.
Are ghosts.
I got a story about a bear.
A ghost bear?
A ghost bear, yeah. Yeah. I think it's because... I think they're out there, people. I think they're out there. But I think that we don't go in the damn woods and we don't do these things that they do.
And how do you know it's a ghost? Because there's so many of them. They all look the same.
Well, because... there's certain characteristics, like if they don't got a head or something, That might be a good clue. Yeah.
Okay, this is really messed up, but there's actually a cat on Facebook that doesn't have a face, but it's still alive. And it's been living for 10 years. And actually a chicken, it had his head cut off and he was still living for about a few years.
There's no way.
Yeah. If you feed it and they get oxygen and they drink, then you can have a no-headed cat animal.
Oh my God, I'm done. I'm done, people. I'm done. There's got to be something that tells it to breathe. If you have no brain, it doesn't tell you to breathe. Bam! Boom! Just
maybe its
blew
face
that.
is gone. Its face could be gone.
Okay, now we got a chicken without a beak. Is that just what we're working with now?
I swear to you, there was a chicken with no head.
Oh my God. Okay, so let's go back. I want to talk to you about some of these encounters, people. That I was looking on some storyboards of people who have lost their pets and stuff. Sometimes I like to go to the unconventional places to look at stories. When we were doing the camping episode one time, I went into the hunters, little blogs and stuff, and then I saw in there where they had talked about stuff. So it's kind of cool to step outside of being normally paranormal and kind of look at these.
Bam! His name was Mike. Mike the Headless Chicken.
Oh, shit. Hold on, Mike has the back part of his head.
Doesn't.
Yeah, he does. You go on and pull that up.
There's no head on him. It's straight to his chest.
Okay, how did they feed Mike?
They just shoved it down his gullet, I guess.
Oh, I'm so done. This is horrible. How did he know where he was going? He had no eyes.
He didn't know. He lived for 18 months after his head had been cut off. He went to the University of Utah in Salt Lake City.
He did? He went to that university? Did he do good? He can't see here. or smell, but damn it, he
No
gonna
child
learn
left
that.
behind,
No chicken left behind.
It was in September 10th, 1945. In Colorado, was planning to eat supper with his mother-in-law and was sent out to the yard by his wife to bring back a chicken. Olson chose a 5.5-month-old chicken named Mike. The axe missed the jugular vein, leaving one ear and most of the brain stem intact.
They don't even got that much brain. He must nick the brain a little bit.
Despite his failed attempt to behead the chicken, he was still able to balance on the perch and walk clumsily.
I told you, he only cut off like his face part.
He attempted to preen, peck for food, and crow, although the limited success, his crowing consists... That's okay. He didn't die, though. I do remember thinking that, yeah.
Oh,
He
man.
earned a bit of money because they made him a sideshow.
Wow.
Poor chicken.
Well, pick our show back out of that ditch and let me tell them about these, he's... All right, so they were talking about how they mourn their pets and stuff, and that was one of the theories, is they think that maybe animals, and such as like dogs, cats, and horses and things like that are close to the owner, come back because they feel their owner's grief. And so their whole life is knowing their feelings and stuff, so that's why they're brought back to us. But one of the things is this is kind of neat, is this dog, they had a dog, it was a Dalmatian, black and white, and they had to put the dog down. Then they had a child. The child grew up, was 19 years old, and went into the dad one day and said, "Dad, did we ever have a white and black dog?" And they really loved their dog. It was called Maggie. They really loved Maggie. And they were like, "Yeah, before you were born." And the girl said, "Well, I see her walking around here all the time." Yeah. These are the stories that...
After night, how old was she said that she seen it walk around
19.
all the time? Still 19 seeing that damn dog?
I'm not joking. Like, these are years and years. Yeah. So that was kind of cool. Another one, that they experience a lot of times. Oh, this is kind of sad. This one girl had a cat. His name was Black. I'm sorry. He was black and his name was Max. And he just acted like a dog. He went everywhere with it, rode in her car and everything like that. And she went to school and she couldn't keep him in the dorm. So he had to stay at her mom's. So she came home from break one time, and when she was getting out of the car, she heard him meowing and stuff like that. Went on in the house. Yeah.
Was the cat that acted like a dog? Or was it a dog?
No, the cat had characteristics like a dog. It likes to ride in the car and stuff like that. So she was going into her mom's stuff and heard the cat meowing and stuff like that. Went on in and waited for her mom to get home. When her mom got home, she was like, "Where's Max at?" And she was like, "Honey, I didn't tell you, but the cat died the night before." But the girl knew the cat was there because he could hear him meowing. She didn't even know it was dead. So that's kind of like, some legitimacy, which was kind of neat. Another one is that they did have the one about the rats. Now, this is my thing is, they lost their poor rats, and then they saw the rats. But my thing is it's a damn rat.
Rats are kind of smart.
They could be smart, but what I'm saying, it's a rat. They all look alike.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
You can have different colored rats.
Nah. I mean, they may, but I mean...
bunnies are rodents, too, and they look
Oh,
different.
Lord.
You can have different kind of rats.
No, come on,
Yeah,
man.
Huh? You can
come
have
on.
a black rat. You can
What
have a
happened?
white rat.
I'm going to tell you what
can
happened.
have
I'm going to tell you what happened
a
with that
gray
rat.
a brown rat.
What happened was that rat done banged another rat that used to come around. Now they got a whole horde of rats. You got an infestation.
This ain't Murray the rat, man.
I'm telling you,
it's Murray.
No, yes. Who is that rat's daddy? That's who we need to find out. Anyway, okay, so some other things. This is really cool. Okay, so this lady is pregnant with her second baby, okay? And her cat died. And she loved her cat. She actually had 3 cats. But this one died. And the baby was born or whatever. And the baby would get up at like 5 o'clock in the morning. And so she was going downstairs. When she was going down her stairs, she really missed her cat, but she's got baby on her mind, And every morning this baby would get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. It would be dark outside and stuff. When she was coming down the stairs, she saw one of the cats run by her. And she was like, wait a minute, something right there. It just didn't seem right, didn't settle right with her. So she was like, okay, it was just one of the cats. But then she saw the one staring at her through her damn window, because it would come up to where she would wash dishes or whatever, and there would be a big window. That's how she would know to let him in. And then she's like, wait a minute. If that cat's there, this one ran by me, and she had one more cat, right? And the other one was sitting in the bathroom. She was like, hold on. So she knew it was the cat. It came back to visit her. Another thing that kind of got weird was that it would come up and it would claw on the window. This one would. The one that passed.